So how has going to everyone here, how has Agent Locator been in general? We've noticed that we see a lot more users online for sure. There's a lot of listings on there. Getting people on the phone, you still have to, keep grinding and talking to them, but once you get them on the phone, as long as you're scripted, great conversations.
How's everyone else in here finding their leads right now? Are you finding that activity is up as far as viewing behaviors in the CRM? Are you finding it kind of the same as when, you're reaching out, they're not answering, or, that same kind of pushback that they're just browsing or the market or whatever it may be? Anyone noticing any like flips in their systems at all? Everyone's so quiet today.
I know. I know it's the end of the month. Everyone should be full of
Yeah,
energy.
I know, right? Gotta wrap
So,
things up. It's almost three.
yeah. I think is anyone getting, has any, I would love to hear anyone's wins that you guys had, maybe last week or the last couple weeks. Something that has given you a little bit more motivation or confidence with the leads through Agent Locator. Because obviously, like when you're, in our opinion or my opinion, and I tell my team is like, when you're first doing them, you're doing all these things. It's painful because people are not answering. Maybe you're not scripted, you're just kind of getting the drive of things, getting to learn the CRM. But once you just finally get that win and that, a yes, or they want to go out or all that stuff, and you finally do a deal from it, your belief system and your confidence is up because now, you've made money from it, you got clients, and you made a
Mhm.
transaction. So now you literally understand like this can work. So now it comes down to your systems on how you, want to communicate and, follow up and, build your business, the way you want to get the right clients that work with you, right? So,
Mhm.
you know, that's kind of where I would love to hear if you guys have any wins, because honestly, a lot of people are on right now.
Mhm. A lot of people are looking.
Yeah.
It's and it's just finding those people in your database or using systems like tools inside your CRM system to help wake these people up, right? Because
Yes.
some of them do stop, looking at properties. They're becoming less frequent in their inbox because of that. But it's using, in some cases, getting creative with what we can do to get them to become active and looking at listings on your website. So it also gives you a reason to reach out to them as well if you're uncomfortable reaching out to some of the older leads.
Yeah. I think that I would love to know what your process is let's say this scenario happens, you guys have a good call with someone. What is your next follow-up step? So the call was you connected, you understand that they're just kind of in the browsing stage. You have their definition of the area that they're looking for and the type of home, and a certain number, but they're not pre-approved yet. Have you guys gotten these calls? And if you
Yeah.
have, I would love to know what you guys would do next to follow up or check in or the next steps. Because remember, we can't help you guys if you guys are not responding.
Yeah,
Everyone's
if you
super
guys,
sleepy.
I know everyone's super quiet. Organize a call with the banker. Jay is
Okay.
saying.
All right, cool. So that would be always good. Usually I would be doing that in the call, as well. So that's what you're saying, Jay. Connecting them to the right person, which is fine. But what happens if you send it to that person, and the lead hasn't moved on it yet? What are the next steps that you guys can do?
What does your follow-up, even look like with those individuals? Because that's probably one of the most common things we hear is we have these great conversations with people. They seem to, sound as though they're motivated, they're excited to talk to the mortgage lenders. You pass it along. Mortgage lender can't get a hold of them now. You're following up. You can't get a hold of them now. So what does that look like for you guys? Like, how do you continue to, reach out to these individuals or at least try to circle back to, get them on a call with you again to kind of continue that process?
So, Jay, I see that you say arrange a call, but what would you do in that call? I understand that we're going to call, but what is the message that we're going to say? What are we doing differently?
A
Sure,
conference call. So,
sure. But let's say Jay, it didn't work. Like they're not responding to your banker as of yet, and there is no conference call. But you see them actively on your website and they're searching. And I know that this is a great profile because I know that each and every one of you guys have that. Okay, cool. Everyone's saying set up an appointment, but how would you set up an appointment? You're calling them, they're not answering. Perfect. But what are you guys going to text? I think you guys are saying like the messages, but what are you guys going to be messaging them? What are you going to be conferencing call them? What are you going to be like what is the reason why? If they're not responding, let's say, or they're not active yet, so they're not as motivated to talk to a banker yet, right? What can you do as an agent to help push them along further and get them motivated? Right. Exactly. So that's good. Right? So you guys are saying so this is the thing. A lot of people,
Mhm.
Jay said a great question, but a lot of people are just saying noise. You guys like Crystal, if you're the lead and I'm saying,
Mhm.
are you ready? You're kind of browsing and I'm saying, are you ready to start the home process? No, I'm not because I'm just kind of browsing. So
Yeah,
you're
just
saying
gonna
things
browse.
that
Okay.
doesn't bring any value. Let's talk
Mhm.
about how we so Crystal, let's talk about how we can have how this can happen for you.
Okay.
Exactly. What do you
Right.
exactly, right?
Like, you
So you
can
guys
say,
are
you can
so
say.
I think the message that I'm trying to showcase is that like when you're trying to message someone or they're not motivated as of yet, you need to what are the items of value that you are going to help them to get motivated? Because remember, when you're messaging these agents again or these clients or consumers, unless there's something of value or unless there's something that you're going to say that's going to motivate me today to start searching now or get me one step closer, what items of value are you going to do? Because I feel like this is the reason why most people are not winning on Agent Locator. Because most people are agents that are saying, "Hey, are you ready to buy and sell? Hey, what happened to your search? Hey, did you connect with this person?" Like you know what I mean? You're saying just like things that are not helping the lead move forward. It actually makes them stalemate or actually makes them reconsider working with you. So, right? Because remember, it's not just you who's messaging them. So, what are some items of value that you could be telling a lead or, showcasing to them if they are not motivated? Guys, I'm the lead. I don't, like I said, I'm beginning my
Market
search,
stats.
not pre-approved, not there. Okay, what about the market stats? Because remember, guys, and throwing you guys another bone here, there's a bunch of information. There's a bunch of information, okay, everywhere. There's so many stats in so many different ways. But the reason that we have the stats is to showcase or perceive, what the market is doing for something that the client is maybe concerned about. Whether it could be maybe not, when you're talking to you haven't discovered more of what their main concerns are, right? Maybe they're scared of buying because they know that prices are going lower. Right? Exactly. Good job, Lily. Exactly what I was just saying. Market stats is great over and over. That's a great thing. What I would be doing differently, because numbers are numbers, right? Think about this. When you're buying something, would you say that real estate is more emotional than the numbers? When you're buying a house, and I'm not talking about for investment, I'm talking about own, like sole occupied unit. What makes you want to buy a house? Is it the experience or is it the numbers? What really drives you? And I understand that some people are going to be numbers first, but
Mhm.
as we know in this business, because why does bidding wars work? Because it's an emotional thing, right? So buying a property is emotional. So we have to speak to them in an experienced way. If we're just going to talk to them in numbers, how many times have you been and especially in a car dealership where they are breaking down a quadrant and they're just talking about numbers and you're sitting there like just seeing like that meme where like all these equations are coming like you're not listening. At the end of the day, they want to see what people can buy, sell, and touch. That's what's getting people really really exciting, right? When I'm sending, for example, if I'm a car salesperson and I'm sending you a follow-up and I'm sending you the numbers, right? That's one person sending the numbers. Oh yeah, it's $400, $600, whatever it is. Or sending like a real what the car can do performance. Maybe it's ripping, maybe it's comfort, maybe it's whatever. People are going to be more inclined to respond and be more motivated when you show them, what the lifestyle will be. So what I would be doing here is sending them listings active sales that just recently happened of homes that they like that have sold lower because the market is going lower right now. So I would be showing them, hey, 2 months ago, this is what this property bought for, then this is what this property bought for, right? So they see the value. But what is going to come next? The lead's going to say, before I say it, what is the lead going to say next if I say that? You can get more value, with purchases that just bought now compared to 2 months ago. Exactly. Great job. That's exactly where I want to go. So Jay said, why should I buy when prices are going to go down? Perfect. This is where you need to know your market. So people have your pens and papers out here and take notes. What I would say, so Crystal, say that question, then why would I buy?
Like,
And
why would I buy if the properties are going down?
totally right. So as we know, the market has certain cycles, right? Right now we're in the spring market. So right now you're seeing a lot of inventory. What happens with a lot of inventory? It brings up supply, which what does it do for the demand? It brings demand down, right? So prices come down a little bit more. So we're seeing that now in the spring. The bulk of the majority of the listings that are going to come out is going to be in the summer market and now to the next 60 days, okay? This is where you're going to see really a lot of listings coming on the market. Prices are going to drop even further. So if you're looking to buy, you want to buy in the next 60 to 90 days. If you find the right house that you can buy, this is the perfect time to do so. Remember, these homes just a year or two ago used to be 75, 150K more, right? Now, once we go into the fall, inventory starts getting lower, right? Supply comes down, prices start going up a little bit, right? So right now, more than anything, what do you have more opportunity for in the last 5 years? In the last 5 years, you had to go through the house in 15 minutes and think of how many hundreds of dollars you're going over, like a lot of competition, and you had to go in firm, right? And limited choices. What do you have now? Bunch of choices. Prices have fallen at least 300 to 500,000, depending which area you're at. So prices are already low. It's probably going to go a little bit lower, but I don't think it's going to go too much after this, especially the freehold, because they hold value, right? Um, so you have that. You have opportunity. You have so many options, and you have prices negotiable, and you can get home inspections now. So this is the best time to buy.
Mhm.
You
And you
can
can do
wait,
some
but
real estate math with people too, because they're
right.
like, they're expecting, in the next couple months, they're going to drop like, I don't know, like extreme amounts. We know it's a gradual drop when these things happen, typically, right? So if you're doing real estate math and the other market might go down, so this product, might be $10,000 less, maybe $20,000 less if it continues down the path we're on, and do the real estate math. That's, it's a difference of, $50 or $100 on your mortgage payment, right? At the end of the day, are we planning to move like in the next like year or two? Or are we planning to like live here for, the next 5 to 10 years? That those numbers don't matter then.
Right. And I think now it's about you have the opportunity to find your dream house. Like we just had sellers that just sold, they bought, and like their biggest fear and most settlers and buyers' biggest fears, especially when they're selling and buying, is that they're not going to find something that they like, right? As soon as they sold conditional, their dream house came up. If an offer came in, before we got to see it, they accepted it. It fell out of conditions. My guys got to get it, and this property would have been like out of range for sure last year. So it's just like in this market, you have more of an opportunity to find the house that you want to stay in and build roots in. And guess what? That goes hand in hand with real estate. Why does it? Because to make money in real estate, it's all about equity and it's all about long term. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
markets have cycles. We've been in a down cycle for 6, 7 years. It's not going to stay like this forever. I think another 2 years, 3 years max, you're going to start seeing some prices. And remember, just like they came down, they will jump back up. So this is a
Mm-hmm.
really great opportunity to build wealth. Great time for upsizers. Great time for people who want to do maybe lateral moves or moving from like a bigger city to a smaller city and getting the same product and pocketing a little bit more money. Like there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of great opportunities. If you want to be a first-time investor, you can, it's closer to buying a duplex or converting that now, right? So there's so much opportunity. And I think number one, like I think you guys need to be motivated. Like I know being a real estate agent is tough, and I know that waking up every day, not knowing, what you're working with, what leads are coming in, who you have, because people can be hot and then they're not, and all that stuff. And especially in this market, and then just hearing anything in the media. But what's more important right now is to protect your mind and protect your schedule and your day-to-day stuff, and make sure that, especially in this market, make sure that when you're done for the day, make sure you're doing things that you like to do, whether that's a craft, whether that's drinking beer and chilling in the backyard and watching games, whatever it is, just enjoy it because right now this market is really, really hard. And what I mean by that is that, a lot of people that you're talking to might not get pre-approved. They might not be in that position to buy. So
Mm-hmm.
really you got to start working with a lot of sellers or people that, are first-time buyers that have that money saved up, or you have past relationships. So you will get through this. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a storm. But I can tell you that if once you get through this market, that's another, like in, any martial art, you have belts. This is
Yeah.
another knot on your belt because no, all us realtors that made it through this market, we all have to congratulate ourselves, whether we did deals or not, we got through it. It's tough,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and if you flourished and you did well, great job. Because remember, when the market goes down, guys, remember, agents' mentality go down. So it's easier for you guys to pick up more business right now because a lot of people are checked out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are looking for other jobs. A lot of people are doing all that. So remember, when there's a lot of when there's just so much opportunity out there, just don't limit yourself to thinking that there's not enough business for you. There's
Yeah.
so much business for you.
There is. There
And
is.
if you're not getting the right, you're not getting further in these conversations, you have a scripting problem. So like ChatGPT, reach for help, reach out to me, whatever it is, get coaching and figure it out because once you learn that hurdle, you're only going to fly even further. In life, it's like I remember being, getting into the business, it was hard to book an appointment. I was getting first it was hard to talk to people about, real estate. Then you pass that bridge and then all of a sudden you can talk to people about real estate, but now you're trying to book appointments. So you lose a little bit and then you get that first appointment and then you go show houses. Now you're trying to learn how to write an offer from houses, but now getting appointments and all the past things you did before is easier because now you have the experience for it. And practice talking.
Mm-hmm.
Practice talking like in the mirror or record on your phone or like really you got to put yourself out there. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's, and those
that's
like
my
it's like in these markets right now, and like as Nick says, those that, if you get through the other end, there is opportunity sitting there
so much.
because there's a lot of people just kind of sitting and using the market as an excuse in some cases, not always, as to why they're not doing things. Because again, you're damn it's really frustrating. It's like anything in life. It's like if it's not working out the way that we had hoped and anticipated, and it's just like one thing after the other, it's really discouraging. 100%. And it doesn't matter anything in life, right? So, but if we just kind of, even if we're time blocking ourselves to like, I'm going to commit to this every single day, you're like a thousand steps ahead of a lot of individuals that are out there. So, it's really those that are working on their business, if they're not working in their business right now, that are going to pull through
Yeah.
the other end, and you'll see a switch. You guys all have databases, work that database. Don't be afraid to,
Call
reach out
people.
to, yeah, call people, look at those older leads, right? Because you paid for them over time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just like the flip of a switch, and all of a sudden you've got a bunch of people that have been in there for years that are all of a sudden now in a position to make a move.
And now they're
So
easier to talk to because this is the
mhm,
thing. When they go and put information in, they know that someone's going to call them. So they're just waiting for it. But once
mhm,
it's funny, once the lead has some months under their belt and no one's contacted them and you reach out to them, it's like they're going to work with you. So you have to do that. Another thing I really want to mention is exactly what Crystal said. Like sometimes you're just going to keep getting kicked in the face, But I think what you have to, what we need to learn in these times is to not give up. When you're
Yeah.
getting kicked in the face 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, 12, 15 times, you do not give up. You do not give up. If you don't remember anything from today, you do not give up,
Yeah.
because it's a muscle you need to train. Because once you learn how to get through that, because there's only so much face kicking you get until you start winning. And then once you win, you don't even remember about the 15 face kicks you got there. Maybe for the first little bit, but then after you don't remember it. So I just think it's about, just moving forward and always just if things are not working out, just you have to learn how to get through it. Because it
Hmm.
doesn't matter if it's in real estate and you're like, you know what, I don't like real estate. I don't get this. It's not helping. You go get another job. It could be the same thing. Maybe you're not going to care as much. Maybe you won't like management. There's going to be something about anything. You just got to pick your pain and go for it. And
Hmm.
honestly, if you choose to, have real estate as this career, it's a beautiful business. So,
Hmm.
any other wins that you guys are getting from the week? What else have you guys experienced with your leads? Are your leads answering your phone calls? What are they doing?
Be simple. It doesn't have to be anything significant. Just be great conversation that you had, right? Or you called several leads and a lot of them answered for a change.
Yes,
Could even be your system. So you've learned how to do something new in your CRM, do something new with your website.
just trying to pull up some stuff on Agent Locator.
Most of them keep saying they're browsing, or whenever you call, they're busy, too busy to talk to you. Uh, and you can ask any questions. Well, couple, I don't want to take too much of your time. Do you think you're going to be making a purchase in the next 6 to 12 months, or 3 to 12 months, or are you thinking sometimes next year? Right. So you know how to somewhat follow up with them, right? And we tend to focus on those people in our system because they're active, but not
Yes.
necessarily ready to. It's frustrating, right? Because you're like, I see they're active, but you also have to look at their lead signals. So some people are active all the time, but if they're only looking at every property one time, they're just casually browsing. Right. It's when
Yes.
they start to look at properties 3, 4, 5, 7, 15 times, those are your people that are actively looking. So if they are just kind of browsing, you can tell that, right? This typically is just a single views on each listing.
100%. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to show you guys some opportunity on what we're doing in some of our systems for our leads, but maybe not
Lily,
5 months. Yeah. You
Lily
know
is
what I
that
can tell
quality
you?
lot. Hmm.
I can tell you, Lily, that like it happens. And the hardest part is to get back on the horse. But I'm telling you, once you get back on the horse and you make, a couple calls and you're consistent for like, 2, 3, 4 times, where you pick it, maybe it could be Monday and Thursdays or whatever it's going to be, and you stick through them, it becomes easier to do. And then,
Hmm.
obviously you're going to get deals from it. And then once you get more deals from it, you're going to want to put more time. The part that you're going to have the hardest part is when you have too much business.
Time management. Yeah, time calendar blocking. Time blocking is crucial for this,
I
right?
know.
Use your
And
calendar.
I'm
It's
brutal
just
for it. I'm brutal for
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's like it's self-discipline, which is hard in any aspect of our lives. Could be anything, right? Self-motivation to do it, but time block and be
Yes.
committed to that time block as if it's an appointment. It's an appointment with yourself. Let's put it that way,
Yes.
right? So, and just stick to it. You wouldn't go book another appointment over it if you were supposed to meet a client, right?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I
if you're
think
always available, yeah, it's hard to not always be available
so.
for
You know what
some of
I've
us.
done, to be honest, because I, usually like to once I get a message, I kind of want to do it right away. But what I've done now is because if I start like going at my phone and messaging right away, unless it's like we're doing offers or I'm meeting them, in the next few moments, at a location or whichever, I actually like don't look at my messages right now.
Hmm.
Like I have a bunch of like people, like some buyers
Yeah,
and stuff messaging me
yeah,
from this morning, but I'm not looking at that yet because I'm not ready.
yeah.
So I come in, I do what I need to do first, and then I get back to them, right? Because remember, like then you just get squirrely all day and you then don't get as much accomplished. That's the hardest part.
Yep. And like as Nick said, like,
Don't
and
know
this
if you have that problem, but I
can
do.
kind of go into time blocking where you set a specific time in the day. So it doesn't mean you have to ignore them. You know, if they're asking something about whatever it is or that you need from me, so yes, I'm just you say I'm with clients right now. I'll look into that this afternoon and get back to you by 5.
Yeah,
Right. So if you give them an expectation of what to receive from you, that could be helpful as well. So you're not just they ask for something, you jump.
exactly. So I find that that helps a little bit more. Remember, like, if someone's really messaging you, fine, get back to that person. But like, try not to because unless something like I just try to remember we're not like saving lives here.
Hmm.
And like meaning like unless like, you have to, it's okay to get back to people, people understand. I
Yeah.
mean, new leads, it's kind of hard because you kind of have to get back to them at a certain timeline. But I
Hmm.
mean, if they truly want to work with you, they're going to work with you. And remember, like, and this is what I tell my agents. What is the difference? I'm going to have someone come up here and tell the answers. I don't want people to text anymore. What is the difference between me and you and another agent in this business? What is the difference? I want someone to come up and give me an answer. Don't be scared. What is the difference? Don't chat GPT it either. What is the difference
This guy's gonna raise her
between
hand if you want to.
me, Crystal, and you and another agent? What is the difference? This is going to be a big aha moment for a lot of people. What is the difference? Experienced realtors. I can't believe it's taking you this long. Okay, you're kind of almost there. Kind of. I would say like one third. Really think. So these are great things,
Hmm.
great things that you do, right? But what is the difference? You're not getting it. What is the difference between me and you, Ali, as real estate agents? I'm very thorough and detail oriented and explain things well, and I listen and probe as well. What is the difference? If you and I are the same, what is the difference? What is the difference? Why would people want to work with you and not me, or vice versa? Why? We all have the same tools. Nope. Nope. Anyone else? David Beaton, I know you're an experienced agent. What is the difference between me and you, or you and another agent? What is the difference? It's a easy question, but a hard one to answer.
Hmm.
And once you learn this, it really gets you to think of little things differently. Okay, guys, it's the experience. Why do people get luxury cars or like Hondas? People can get Hondas, but why do they get it? It's because the experience that the product gives them, right? So the difference between me and you is the experience that we give our clients. So with, my clients, we're having a good time. I'm bringing things to them. If we're doing showings, I bring things to lighten the mood or, enhance the mood, set the stage a little bit better. When we're having the phone calls, we're having great conversations, we're laughing, we're joking, we're playing around, while still getting the business done,
Hmm.
right? And understand that when it's an experience, right? When there's an experience, people will wait or, understand that, it's an experience and when it's ready, it comes and you do what you got to
Hmm.
do. So that's the difference. If you know that you give an experience and people want to work with you because you're a good agent, you explain things well, you're a vibe, you can handle the stuff, that is the difference. So that is something that we all have to like remember when we're calling people, right? Like when I call leads through Agent Locator, and you guys have heard my calls many times. If you haven't, go back to, a couple years on YouTube here on Agent Locator for our live dials that we did.
Mhm.
But basically, it's in the experience. Like I make people laugh. I make people feel comfortable. I make them feel powerful. I make them feel motivated,
Mhm.
right? And those are the clients that will want to work with you. So anything other than don't give up, the other thing that you need to learn today is making sure that you're giving your clients an experience. And what does an experience look like? An experience looks like, making sure that their communication is strong. When you guys are, doing the houses, everything is, great. Everyone's present, questions are answered. You don't have to wait to find questions. Like everything's boom, 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 right there, all the information laid out and all that stuff you know, and then
Yep.
making sure when an offer comes in, you say what you're going to do. It doesn't take forever to put an offer in. The offer's easy to read. All these things are an
Mhm.
experience,
Mhm.
right? When you're going to book a showing, you're not late, you're early, you come prepared, you know the information. That's why people want to work with you. They don't give a shit if they're sorry for swearing, but they don't care if you're five, if it takes longer to respond to them. This is where we're all going back to
Mhm.
time blocking. But
Yep. And not being available
yes,
instantly, right?
yes. Because convenience is good, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, it's harder when you're newer, okay? Because in the
Mhm.
newer, you just want unique clients. But once you have, people or even new, because we still have a lot of new acquisitions, but
Mhm.
people understand. And I think it's the way that you set the tone on like how things are going to work,
Yeah, absolutely.
right? And sometimes it's not saying, "Hey, Crystal, this is how things are going to work. I'm not going to message you like right away." Like that's not
Yeah.
what's going to happen. But when a response goes like, they're responding to you, and let's say, it's something, and it takes you an hour to get back because you're in an appointment or whatever. All you just have to say, "Hey, sorry, just in an appointment, seeing this now." Whatever, whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
People understand. But if it takes you 48 hours to get back to people, then yeah, that's a
Yeah.
problem,
That's when it becomes, no.
right?
That's becomes when it's frustrating. And I've had that experience where I was just curious about something. I called, paged the or called the realtor, sent a message to the realtor, called the office, had the realtor paged.
Like, bro, am I
Still
working for
nothing.
you or like, you know what I
Still
mean?
nothing, right? And then I finally called like someone I know. I'm like, can you look into this property for me? Like I just like whatever. And like, oh, and then he finally got a hold of him after a while, and then there was some reason. I'm like, so he couldn't have just said that? He couldn't have just responded or just quick message or anything, like instead of just making me. So instead of me, this is before we had any rules in BC about dual agency. I'm like, so instead of potentially picking up a buyer,
Right.
he avoided the conversation because maybe I think they were taking it off the market or they're planning because it wasn't moving or something like
But
that.
even though
But
if it wasn't moving, that was an opportunity, right?
yeah,
So,
exactly. And I'm like, he lost everything or potentially
yeah,
lost everything in that situation, right? But and it wasn't like I looked for an answer immediately. I know realtors, people are busy, right?
yeah.
But when
But
I'm
let,
not, the
let me
next
ask you
day
a
I still haven't
question.
heard back.
Let me ask you a question. I don't mean to interrupt you because you're saying
Hmm.
some really great things. Is now, if that person got back to you right away,
Hmm.
what would you be feeling?
I would almost
Meaning
be
like impressed, I'm saying. Like, oh
yeah,
wow, okay, that was
yeah.
pretty quick. Great
Right, I
job,
was quick to get back. Yeah, the
right? So
response
so
was
you
quick. Yeah,
so then you're gonna message back and there's the
yeah,
opportunity, right? So
yes, yeah.
that's what I'm just trying to show,
Hmm.
everyone here how that can work. And remember, that is most agents in the business and like
Yeah,
there's so much opportunity.
there is. And it's just acknowledging, like, and I say, like, even if it's like your leads or whatever, and you're busy and you don't have an answer for them right yet, hey, I just, I'll get back to you a little bit later. I just have to do this, right? So always acknowledging the person doesn't mean you have to do whatever it is that they're requesting in that moment. Right.
Exactly.
So acknowledge the communication. That's the biggest one. And I see it in CRMs as well, where leads are replying and you guys may be responding from your cell phones, which is fine. But it looks like the lead is just like hanging there. Like, I'm like,
Right?
this person has taken a minute to either respond to a message in your campaign or whatever it might be. And you're just not even responding back. Right.
Right.
Even if they're like, oh, we're just, whatever it might be. Okay, thanks. Like, or anything, right? It's just be responsive. They took a minute to be responsive to you. You should always at least take a minute to be responsive back, even if it's not right away, but acknowledging that communication.
Yes, it's so true. So the next little bit, I'm going to do objections because I want to see how scripted you guys are. So I'm going to throw out some objections over here. So I'm the buyer. All right, interest rates are too high. So I don't really want to buy right now. Interest rates are too high. I just don't want to buy right now. Interest rates are high. I don't want to buy right now.
Is that that's
Okay,
a
but so hold on.
yeah.
I understand, but I'm hearing right now that rates are not going up. And
Okay.
I also heard that even though the Bank of Canada held on March 18th, I heard that rates still went up 1/4%. So if you say that to me as a lead, Ali, you're gone. I'm not using you because to me
Yes.
that's the sales, right? So Lily, what's high to you? High is where it's at now. I'm looking at my mortgage payments. So that's a great question that she's saying. She's challenging the thought. So what's
Mm-hmm.
high to you?
Mm-hmm.
Right now it's at like, it used to be at 3.75 just 6 months ago. I'm hearing it's at 4.3, 4.5. I don't know. It's getting too high. I don't feel that I can afford it. I'd like to be at 1.85%, but that's not happening. So I think for me, it's about just making sure that I have the best interest rate. Do you see what Lily's doing though? She's asking questions to find the
Mm-hmm.
root problem. She's
Mm-hmm.
probing. And what am I doing? I'm answering them.
Yes. I think another great
So
question would be
Lily, you
like
need to
what the
time
goal
block and make
is.
some more money. You can make
Yeah.
100K this month. You're locked
Yeah.
in
How long are you willing to wait?
forever. I'm living in my basement, my mom's house.
This is renting, so clearly renting. You had a mortgage, but now you're renting.
So no, so I don't
Uh,
know. There's no timeline. I'm comfortable where
it's
I am, but there is a motivation to move.
yeah. So what happens in a year from now if you're still in the same situation?
So you guys are doing well.
Yeah.
Lily,
Yeah.
congratulations. What's important about this move? Perfect. You're going the right way. I
Hmm.
want to give you guys another perspective on the objection on that one there, okay? When they're saying interest rates are going too high, like t totally understand. But did you know that rates are going to go higher? So if you don't like where it currently is now, you're not going to like what it is in the next coming months.
Yeah.
So I think what's really important in what you're trying to say is that you want as low payments as possible. Is that correct? Perfect. So what I can tell you and what we can do is we can rate hold what's the best rate today for about a specific time, I think 60 to 120 days. So, we know that more inventory is going and pricing is falling and borrowing cost is going up, which is going to put more pressure on price. So let's make sure we lock in a great rate for you today so that we can get you a great purchase in the next near future. You see how easy and smooth that
Hmm.
was without going so deep?
Yeah. And if the rates come down, they're not committed to that locked in rate. They can go
Did
with
you
it
know
if it
that rates are
drops.
going up more? So if you like what's happening, if you don't like what's ha now, you're not. And the problem is that it's probably going to be a long-term rate. So,
Hmm.
the question is, do you want to lose opportunity? Have you ever lost opportunity in the past? What does that mean? Has there ever been a time where, you should have said yes to something, you said no, and you missed out? That's like this time right now
Hmm.
because rates are going to be here for a little bit longer, in my opinion. And what we didn't have in the past was opportunity and super low pricing. You're buying just near at the bottom, my friend.
Hmm.
But do you see how the experience is when I'm talking to the
Yeah.
lead? I'm talking to them with information, correct information. I'm coming
Hmm.
to them with speaking like myself, and I'm coming to them and letting them know like and advising them. So I think you
Hmm.
need to come through. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get this light here.
Yeah.
This light doesn't want to
Your
go. Okay.
emotion center.
Yeah. Um, and I think that the most important thing is learning how to just be an advisor because it didn't sound like I was selling. Did it once sound like I was selling at all or
Hmm.
not at all?
No. Yeah. No.
Because you also have to understand when you're asking questions, leads have like question fatigue too, right?
Hmm.
So you don't want to ask them a million questions. You just need to probe the right answers. You know, when someone says something, you just need to know the right questions to get them to the answer they need to be in.
Hmm.
Okay, so Lily, great job. I'm giving you a star for that. So you're crushing it. We want to save, so we're excited to buy, but we want to save a little bit more money. We want it, we are so excited to buy, we want to save a little more money. Guys, if you take this long on the phone, I'm hanging up.
Much more money.
How much more money? We were hoping to save up another 50 grand. Yeah, I understand, but we feel like that we need more money. I no, we only have saved up about 5% right now and closing cost. So yes, but okay, so Mr. July is over there. Great things. You're saying the great things, but you're speaking too high of a conversation to a first-time buyer
Hmm.
because might be wise to get in now and lock that price. That was never the objection. The objection
Hmm.
is we want to save more money.
Hmm.
But we currently, as I said, we currently have 5% and closing costs saved right now, right? So, and you can always refinance to put more down right now, right? Especially if the market's
Hmm.
continuing to go down. So what do we need to learn to say when we're at these things? The only person that I feel is getting deals is Lily because she's a star. She's asking the right things. Jay, you're getting there, but that's what it is. How about Sandeep? Why don't you tell me? I feel like you would know this one. We just want to save a little bit more money. We have the 5% and closing costs, but we want to save a little bit more money. Guys, you need to like go on objections and
Yeah, I think we need to understand why they want to do that as well. Like if
exactly,
we can get the
exactly,
product at what you have for down payment right now, would it be worth looking?
exactly, exactly that.
Mhm.
Crystal, are you a real estate agent? Oh my God, you crushed it. So that's pretty much what it is. Well, did you know if, the question that you really would just want to say is, hey, if you were able to get the product you want now, would you consider getting it? That's all you have to say.
Mhm.
Right? Because it's like, why do you want to save up more money? Did you know that you could probably get what you want today?
Mhm.
Right? The next question you want to go from there, if they're like talking about that, we'll break it down. Okay, well, respectfully, how much more money do you think you can save in the year? Okay, by that time, prices are still going to be where they're at, but when it shoots up, it shoots up, and we don't know when that's going to happen. So, in my opinion, let's see what today gets us and see if it's the right products for
Mhm.
you. And if it is, which I feel it is, great time. And this is
Yeah.
a really good market to get a conditional offer.
And that's again, you can't, it's really hard to outsave the market because yeah, if prices go up, you're basically getting the same product but at a higher price because now you need a higher down payment.
You know what sucks right now? And this is a really good note to just take in. Right now with interest rates, and if they're going to go up, it is more expensive as to do deals right now. Like to buy a house right now, even for a lower cost, it's still expensive
Hmm.
because the interest rate is high. So even getting like a 750 and now like let's say you buy for 675 and the rates go up a little bit more, you're almost paying at 675 for like a 725 product with the
Hmm.
interest.
Hmm.
So that's the hard part.
Yeah.
So like we have to understand as agents that anyone looking to make a move right now, we have to understand that things are expensive right now. You're moving at an expensive time. If you're confident you're staying at home and you don't have a need to move, right? Then maybe you just sit tight, right? It's just, you have to understand that because like borrowing costs is a lot right now.
Hmm. A lot of people
So
aren't getting approved either. Like I have speaking to individuals where they're like, they're eh, frustrated, but like they have a ton of opportunity. A lot of people that want to do something in their systems, but they're not getting approved. They're not
because
getting
it's
approved at
hard.
what they need. Yeah.
You know what was crazy? If someone makes, think about this, okay? We just had our mortgage agent in on our team meeting and he was going through pre-approvals and we were mocking things up, which I suggest you guys do with your agents. If you don't have one, call us. We'll let you talk to our guy. But what's crazy is that to get a 750 purchase with no, right? You need to make a household income of 165 a year, no car payments.
That's insane. When you look at the average median household, like income, even in
Isn't that
Ontario, for
crazy?
example, like it's
And I
it's
think your
bonkers.
TS, I think like your TDS or whatever is still like 33%. So it's
Yeah.
like that is crazy.
Yeah.
So, just to understand what buyers are going through right now, right? So really you're playing with people that have homes that have equity that, been there and they can
Hmm.
afford this time, right? Or you're having someone like first time buyers ready to buy because this market's still going to be great. Remember, interest rates are not going
Yeah.
to be high forever, right?
Hmm.
Maybe they'll be here. I feel like they'll be anywhere between the 3 to 4.5. I don't think 5, but like, whatever, right? Like
Hmm.
we'll have to figure it out, but excuse me, that's kind of, where it is, right? And it's more the equity game that you're going because remember, builders are not building. There's going to be a time where the squeeze happened and just as much it fell down, it's going
Hmm.
to shoot back up. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
I think we're just doing a
Um,
market correction right now. A
yes,
really
exactly.
painful one, a really painful one.
Exactly.
But again, like there's so many different ways and angles that you can look at this as an opportunist, right? Of watching and, getting in at the right time. It doesn't mean you have to do a 5-year term or whatever it is on your mortgage. You could always, if you're able to, suck it up for the first, do a 2-year mortgage. So if it does drop or have an open mortgage, you can lock in.
Totally.
So.
Totally. Um, so I would like to say this. This is the next objection, okay? So we're not ready to commit, into an agreement. So we're not ready to commit to a buyer's agreement. We're not ready to commit to an agreement.
Hmm.
So Jay's out. Okay.
Okay. Oh.
See, a lot of people would just be like, nope. So look, the people that are still standing there, like myself, your competition's just dropped.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a hard one, right?
Yeah. It's
We're
understanding
not ready
again
to
why,
commit. We're not exactly. Why aren't you?
Yeah. What is it that about committing to a realtor that
Yeah.
has you questioning
No.
or not wanting
Yeah.
to in this?
So Lily, great. No, I'm not working with another agent, but I am talking to a few agents. So, I'm just trying to see who's the best fit for me.
And that's what their experience has been so far. And what are realtors, how are they falling short in what you're looking for somebody to represent
You,
you?
you can't be helping them, Crystal. They're agents, they should know.
Yeah, I know.
Are
Come
you
on, people. Put yourself
guys?
in the
And to be honest with you, like this shows, I'm sure that you guys are successful on some of the calls. I know that you guys are just here, but this shows like what you need more work on, to be honest with you. Have you seen properties? Like I said, yes, I have. I've been talking to people, and I'm just looking to see who can bring me the best opportunity and who's the best fit for me. Okay, let me step back here. You guys are so worried about the commitment, which I totally get. I totally get. But like, don't worry about that too much. Obviously, you just want to make sure they're not signed with any other agent, right? So the question is are you signed with any other agent, right? No, you're not. I know I'm not. They can't really lie to you, right? So great, no problem. So there's two ways of going about it, right? One way you have to understand that like I'm saying I want to see who's the best fit for me and I want to see, who brings me the best opportunity. When people are saying that, they've had a bad experience with another agent before, they've been hurt, so their guard is up. So, just because they're saying this doesn't mean that they're not going to work with you. It just means that maybe you give them one or two freebies for them to show you the difference. Because what are the difference between me and other agents or you and other agents? What's the difference? If you guys don't say this word right now, you're not coming to the next week's coaching call.
Experience.
Exactly. So let them be, I always, when I hear this objection, I love it because it just makes me know that I have to be on point to get this lead,
Mhm.
right?
Challenge
So
is always fun sometimes.
exactly, right? So, hey, you know what? Totally understand you're not ready to commit. I wouldn't be either. There's lots of opportunity in the marketplace. And honestly, you want to make sure you have the right fit and you want to make sure, the agent's working for you. Wouldn't you agree? Yes. Okay, so no problem. So we do things a little different here. I'm not sure what you've worked with your other agents, but, I just want to find out some more information and make sure I'm bringing you the best opportunity for yourself. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions. All right, what are you looking for? So you go through all that stuff, right? Once you go through that, be like, okay, no problem. So how this is going to work is I'm going to send you some listings. You let me know if you see anything you do like. I'm not going to put you on a generic list. I will. I mean, I have a general list that I'll send you, but I'm going to send you a handpicked list weekly, just to make sure that I'm not missing something that you might see something of value. And remember, what I'm sending you, other agents might not be sending you. So, there's I'll show you the difference that we can do, essentially, right? So, you want to go on that angle, and that's fine,
Mhm.
right? The other thing you also want to say, so let me understand something, right? In the call, when you're talking to them, after you figure out all that stuff, you want to just say, so, hey, just to understand that, if I show you the opportunity, you will, and you like it, you're working with agents that are showing you the opportunity. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Okay. Are you currently working with an agent now? Do you have anything signed, honestly? No, I do not. Okay, perfect. So what we'll do is I'm going to send you opportunities and we're going to go from there. Right? I'm going to send you these great opportunities, take a look and then, next week let's start going on and taking a look at some stuff. Sometimes it's not like about the property, it's about communication and how you're setting the stage up. Because most agents are going to be very basic.
Yeah.
When you
Stay.
start being different, they're like, "Oh,
Mhm.
okay, now I'm here. Now I'm going to, be present and listen." So
And it's taking control of the process, right? So, and confident in what you're doing because a lot of people need that. They need to be led with real estate, not and
advise.
guided. Yes.
Advise. You're an advisor. You're not a sales rep. You're an advisor because you're not here to make a quick sale. You're here to build relationships. Well, I hope you guys are. You're here to build relationships and really and truly help families. Like, guys, you have to really take it one step deep before I let you guys go for the day. You are dealing with people's lives. Like, understand that. Like, you are dealing with people's bank accounts, savings, years of hard work. Everyone has had parents. Think of your parents right now. And especially if you were immigrants like my parents came from Italy. Think about how hard they had to make the jump to get here now. So remember, you're playing with people's families' legacy of money. And for them to give you the opportunity to work with them and trust you to like find their next house and make sure it's a good investment, I hope you understand that that's a privilege. And if you feel like it's not and you don't see it that way, I really hope you raise your standards because the more that you see like that, people will understand and feel that vibe. And they're just going to trust you because we're only here to lead people, to good things. We're not here to do, quick sales. We're not here to take people's money like that. We're not here to do that. And if you're here to do that in the business, get out because you're the ones that are giving us good realtors the shit. So just remember that. It's not just a sales, we're advisors. When you go and you go to an investor and you say, hey, here's 50 grand, 100 grand, are they selling you something? No, they're advising you. Still your money. You still have to say yes on where it's going to go. So just remember that. It's a privilege. And that's it. So
Oh,
I know that was a great
no,
one. But
yeah,
anyways, on that, let's make it light again. But
yeah.
yeah, you guys need to call your leads. Like, I don't know why you guys are so, quiet today, but leads are out there. our lead, there's activity. Remember, a few tokens for you guys just before we leave is if you see a lead that's active, okay, what you're gonna do, and you haven't connected with them, send them listings that they've been liking or liking that maybe just sold or hasn't sold, or maybe let them know like, hey, this price is still negotiable. Like probe them.
Be
And the
different.
only way you can probe them is by the information they're looking at, because every lead is different. If
Hmm.
someone likes bungalows and they're liking bungalows, keep sending them bungalows. Or
Yeah.
maybe give them a call saying, hey, this bungalow came out. Don't think it's for you, but I just want to let you know. How you doing? Like build the relationship. Like, guys,
Hmm.
there's so much thing. You just have to work.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't be afraid of your voice.
Don't be afraid. You guys are paying for the leads. Make the money
Yeah.
from the leads. All right. I'm gonna go.
Awesome.
I hope you
Okay.
guys have a great day and peace and love.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.